This video is a film study look at Keyon Martin and just a spectacular performance that he put together in the Ravens' 30-3 win over the Washington Commanders on Saturday. I'm going to talk about Martin in this video. I'm also going to talk about Ruben Lowry. I'll tend to spot shadow both guys pre-snap it because I think they belong in the same bucket. And what I mean by that is they're both worthy. They're both worthy of being on a roster. I think the 53-man number at this point is a little arbitrary in 2025 with the demands of a 17-game schedule and the shit show that is Thursday Night Football so often. But that's a topic or a video maybe for another day. In my opinion, both of these guys are worthy because their play warrants it. They've played well enough, if you ask me, to be relied upon at times. I would say that both of them compare favorably to where Armour-Davis Washington was his rookie season. They've been more consistently on the field as rookies and more consistently put in positions of stress and responded, I think, quite well. In terms of Martin, very agile, quick, great feet. I mean, just great feet and awareness. I would say he's more of a dedicated nickel, whereas Lowry is a safety who can play nickel, who can come down and play in the curl flat. I got 12 plays queued up here for you guys. Generally, I'll spot shadow both of them. Martin in yellow, Lowry in blue. But I do want to talk about something foundational real quick. Washington oftentimes puts twins to the field. And if you respond with 3/2, which is what we're getting here, nickel, outside corner, safety, again, that's Lowry, then they're not necessarily looking for a bubble. However, on this play, this happens to be a 2nd and 3 from the first possession, Martin is in fact blitzing. And the quarterback real quickly is getting the ball out to the flats. Maybe they had an alert on and the quarterback made a check because he thought he saw something that indicated that there was going to be a blitz, a nickel blitz in this case. But watch how well Martin reacts. How agile he is. The ball's out in the flats, right? It's an easy completion. We do end up with this triangulated alignment of our 3 defenders against only 2. So this ends up being a 3/2, which is just what it was pre-snap. The difference is Martin threatened a blitz. In fact, he began to execute a blitz. He's so quick, he's able to get back out there, which is pretty unique. I mean, that's what you want from a starting level nickel DB in the NFL. You want someone who can recover. It's B-gap. Why does the bubble stuff really work? I should say it's B-gun. So this guard, which Teddy Buchanan is lined up in perfect alignment to be able to see the guard and the running back, that guard is pulling as well as the running back, crossing the quarterback's face. So the quarterback looking out there quickly. But to talk about Buchanan, why do we lose him? Because his visual keys, the running back and the guard, here and here, in reverse order, running back and then the guard, they both are moving from our left on the screen to our right. They're pulling him with him. So you lose the Mike linebacker. And when that happens, your nickel's got to be agile enough to get back out here. And in this case, Martin is. If he weren't on a blitz, right, and they threw that bubble, then Martin's going to be in perfect situation to break on the ball, possibly get a PD, anything like that. His recoverability, I know he's small. It's probably one of the reasons, why he was a UDFA in the first place. But the awareness, the toughness, and his maneuverability, his agility, if you will, I think kind of stands out, even on a Ravens team that has great pursuit, obviously, so far in the preseason. Still first possession. It's a 1st and 10. Lowry's back at free safety. Martin, dedicated nickel, in this case, kind of to the boundary. Don't really involve Martin on this play. It's a fast sweep. Motion, I should say. So this motion is threatening, the sweep to the downside of the screen. And because we're in man, so what I mean is we're in man here with Martin on the guy who went in motion, and then also Kane is manned up on the tight end. We're in a better position to defend this particular play, the zone read option. You got 3 facets to this: the give, and then the quarterback keeping. That's not an option here to the fast sweep guy, the receiver who went in motion. That's a call, which we'll actually see here in a little bit. It puts Kane in a better spot as a strong safety to come down and get involved in the run. It really gives him an opportunity to play the run because he's attached to the tight end. Green also, I think, a really spectacular way of playing this from a 6 technique. So what I'm talking about is this right here. Head up on the tight end, even slightly inside, if you will. That's Martin coming across the field with, I think, McCaffrey, who, I believe it's McCaffrey, didn't really look that impressive. But Kane, when I say he's attached to the tight end, this is what I mean, right? Martin is with the guy who went in motion, so we're losing him, quote, from the give to the running back, but we gain Kane. Kane stays in there. Why? Because he's on the tight end, right? Tight ends oftentimes are going to chip slide down and then release late, or it could be chip and hold for a second and then release to the other side. Kane's got to be able to defend that. So that's what I meant when I said he's attached to the tight end. In this case, him and then Green, who fights off the tight end eventually, get involved in the tackle. This is kind of what you get at the end of every Ravens defensive play in the preseason. 3, 4, or sometimes 5 guys all at the point of attack. The Commanders' offense is designed to test your pursuit. It's designed to test your ability to get to the outside and your conditioning. Well, it's different in the preseason. Clearly, we're shuffling in guys, and they are too. But as far as that goes, pursuit, conditioning, and pursuit angles, in fact, the Ravens defense absolutely passes the test with an A+. Once again, Martin spot shadow down here. Lowry's the left side safety, mind you. So when he moves to free safety, generally that's when Kane is spinning up to one side. And in fact, you'll oftentimes get these rotations in the video that I'm showing you. Really, Martin's not necessarily involved here in a coverage standpoint because we're not in man. So on the previous snap that I showed you, the wide receiver was to the boundary, ran that same fast motion that he's going to run here. Where was Martin? He was lined up over top of him. Remember, he went in motion like I described. Well, here, Martin's already to the field. He's already away from that receiver. Why? Because we're not in man. Also notice where Kane is, right? He's lined up in a too high safety alignment. This is still first possession. It's a 1st and 10. And the safeties actually do roll here, kind of like I described. So Kane front side spinning down with the motion probably, and then Lowry as the backside guy spinning back. Remember, they were lined up in a too high safety alignment. They're spinning to their right, whatever that's called in the Ravens structure. So let's talk about Martin, who is small, taking on a lead block out there. He does force it. It doesn't force it in a way that, looks spectacular, but Buchanan flows over the top. It's actually not a run play. The quarterback flips it to the receiver. I think it's McCaffrey once again in motion. And Martin does get involved in the play one more time. It's very similar to the screen that I just showed. We've got things really, triangulated here. Martin, Buchanan, Kane, all in a triangle. It's a 3-on-2 in our favor. That's what you want. Their offensive scheme is designed to test you on the perimeter, force you to account for things out there to the outside of this picture, basically, that we have, and then operate some things in between based upon the numbers that you have to respect to the outside. Here's the fast motion. Remember on the last play, obviously Martin went with that motion. He doesn't need to. He's off screen to our right. So how's this working out? The offensive line working this way, and then the tight end is stepping out to Martin. Remember, Martin's off screen to our right. I saw some stuff, people talking about, hey, this is a great read by Buchanan. It's a great play by Buchanan, but I mean, like, you see the little brown leather ball tossed up in the air. I mean, it's not necessarily anything to read. There's the ball, go chase it, right? I mean, there's a reason why he's tossing it. So, not a great read, in my opinion. It's just a great play. Meaning, being an athlete, see the football, go get it, overlap Martin. Martin should be the force player, right? He kind of maybe moved inside a little bit too much, and then Buchanan overlaps it. Kane is there as well. Another illustration that you have of how things go at the end of a play for the Ravens defense in the preseason, at least. 3 guys all over the ball carrier, in this case a receiver on a fast sweep. Martin's actually not on the field on this play. Lowry is. He's the free safety back here. And why? Why is he not on the field? Because we're in our base defensive structure. So it's our 3-4. There's our 3 interior defensive linemen, 2 OLBs, and here are our 2 inside linebackers, Simpson and Buchanan. I did a film study video on Simpson earlier on today. If you want to check it out, I'll link it up in the description. Both corners are on the same side. I call that cowboy. So I'm talking about Tampa and JAD here. It's a 3rd and 2. The Commanders, are going with, basically 3 into the boundary. It's snag smash, which is what we run a ton of. It's similar to snag smash. My apologies. You're getting 2 in cuts, and JAD, this is the one that he gets pass defense on. Really great reaction to the receiver's route. Breaking immediately. Perfect timing to get in there. Not interfere with the receiver, but get to the ball right as it arrives and get a pass defense. Notice his eyes switch from the receiver here to the quarterback because he sees the cut. He knows it's 3rd and 2. We are bringing 5-man pressure, it looks like. So perhaps that's one of the reasons why he feels so confident in stepping down on that and not worrying about necessarily a sluggo route. I think we're into the second possession here, the one that ends with JAD and the pick off the deflection by Simpson. Here is Martin as the dedicated nickel one more time. Lowry is the left side safety like I was talking about earlier. It's 11 personnel with twins down here. We are getting, I think, a dedicated rotation here. So Lowry's spinning down. Why? Because once again, Martin is on a blitz. I think maybe the blitz is sometimes predicated to the side of the back. If he's got the blitz on the running back on his side, he's blitzing. If he's got the running back on the other side, he's not, but I could be wrong. And then this isn't the right angle for the rotation for Keyon, because I've only got so much screen to deal with. So he's obviously not rolling that flat. Second possession, 1st and 10. And here's Martin once again on the blitz. Quarterback, no mesh, meaning he didn't actually put the ball in the running back's gut. Looking out here to the number 2 receiver for a bubble screen. Dedicated, called blitz, if you will, for Martin. Able to redirect. Lowry downhill, boom. I mean, both of they're like just a 1,000 little bees, man. I mean, and I call them little. I mean, they'd be probably bigger than me, but I mean, on the football field, the guys that they are putting the same pads on as, these two guys are certainly on the smaller end of the spectrum, but they get to the football, and when they arrive, they're very hostile. One thing I talked about earlier is how you kind of lose the mic. You get a really great angle view of it here. Because of the guard pulling and the running back crossing face, you're going to lose Buchanan. You're going to lose the mic, the guy to the side of the back, because both of his keys are taking him away. That might be related to what Martin is doing on the blitz. You actually can kind of see Martin coming to the screen here. He was off screen initially. Got that foot in the ground, going to open his hips up and burst and go. From a player comparison standpoint, it's not cool to do defense to offense or offense to defense, but for our offense, Keyon Martin has the agility of a Zay Flowers. That's the type of agility that I see there, and I think that would separate him from the rest of the defenders, even Ruben Lowry. You can see both of these guys spot shadowed again. This is a tough cover, man. This is on the second possession. This is preceding JAD's pick off the deflection by Trenton Simpson. So ball's on the right hash. It's empty bunch. So you've got 2 down here to the boundary, 3 to the top side. And in my opinion, Martin's got the tough cover here. He's on the point man here. And then the point man is basically running the smash concept. Quarterback is looking to that side. Obviously, that's the bunch side. That's the read. Smash has 3 receivers involved in it. We're just talking about the corner route for a minute, the one that Martin is covering. That is the path that the tight end is going on. And you can see he's all over it. It's not an easy cover, to be honest with you, to be on the point man, all right? Right here, we're talking about point man. You're on the guy lined up right on the line of scrimmage. And then on the snap, the way the snag works out, you get one guy running, an angled hook, one guy running to the flats. And in this case, the smash concept is the one that's covered by Keyon Martin. He's got great feet. He's diving here at the last second. A perfectly thrown ball, right? There's a perfectly thrown ball beat us there. Yeah, it gives the guy an opportunity to catch the football. I think the tight end, maybe turned and went a little bit flat, so showed a little bit of difficulty keeping his body in the right position to run that smash route a little bit more vertical. But Martin is a guy who puts himself in position, if you ask me, against the highest level tight ends and slot receivers in the NFL. Would he have trouble? Yeah, perhaps he would. He's a UDFA who came to us with no guaranteed money. For him to be in the position he's in, I think just speaks to his ability, the coaching staff, what they've done with him, what they've done with all of these defensive guys. Lowry's down here as the bottom side safety. This is JAD's, this is the possession that finishes with JAD's interception, okay? I'm sorry, that was the previous possession that finished with JAD's interception. This is the bubble screen down into the boundary. It doesn't involve Martin at all, okay? It really involves Lowry. Lowry's coming downhill, at this angle to be the inside-out player, the alley player, if you will, to JAD being the force. From here, we've got great positioning by JAD. His head's a little bit on the inside for a moment. Head's a little bit on the inside, but he's in the right position to force the bubble inside to Lowry. And Lowry, just for a moment, kind of hedges to the outside, lets the receiver come back inside. But, time is on our side there because that brings, that brings Simpson into play. That little hesitation by the receiver. I think Lowry could press a little bit more there instead of sliding back outside, right? here. I think Lowry should be more downhill. Make that guy bring it out to JAD or make an abrupt cut back inside to his help. I feel like we had the 3-on-2 advantage very decisively. And Lowry, because of his slight hesitation, kind of gave that away for a moment. As an aside, that type of play, that is exactly what the Commanders want to do. I think their scheme is a little bit underrepresented or undercovered in terms of how well they were able to play last year. Basically, it's an option-based system with a ton of perimeter screens built into it. Occasional throws downfield. Don't get me wrong, there were some great throws by Jaden Daniels last year. I'm not minimizing those. What I'm saying is the scheme, the built-in pre-snap reads, the built-in counts, if you will, for the quarterback, they kind of got minimized or not talked about at all, really, in 2024. It's a pain to defend. This is a brilliant play by Keyon Martin. He's the nickel defender in an 11 personnel bunch set out of a pistol alignment for the offense. He's going to basically blitz here. There's a little bit of a giveaway for this one. It's his third possession, 2nd and 4. This is after the completion that I just showed you there. He's beating the wide receiver to the inside again. I think it's McCaffrey, but I could be wrong. I thought McCaffrey had a really rough day. McCaffrey, in my opinion, could probably be called for a hold right here. And at any point during the play, really. He could be called for a hold. I thought live it was a hold. I definitely think it's a hold now. At this point, I'll give you the end zone angle and give you a little bit of an idea about why this might be possibly a giveaway, if you will. So we do have the D tackle in a 1, the D end Ojabo, who I actually like more in a 3-point stance after watching through the film. I actually wonder if he shouldn't be in a 3-point stance a little more than this 2-point stance, which is standing up, no hand on the ground. But we're focusing on Martin and Lowry, and in particular on this case, it's Martin. Downhill, inside step. Why? Because Ojabo is also stepping down. Ojabo's stepping down here. Martin, is blitzing off the edge, if you will. Beats, like I said, I think it's McCaffrey, off the edge pretty quickly and easily to get a tackle for loss. Lowry up here, rolled up to the field. Check out there is a little bit of a difference here between him and Martin in terms of agility, if you ask me. Martin's not on the field, by the way. This is moving forward here. This is base defense on the field for the Ravens. So he's going to be on a predetermined blitz from the field. So the running back's actually opposite of him, but he's still blitzing. So a little bit different than what I said earlier. Look at what's being created to the top side. I mean, it's a 2-on-1 because of Lowry's blitzing. I think Lowry just goes so far inside, and he's able to redirect a little bit slower than Martin is generally. Now, Simpson gets there. It still ends up being a 7-yard gain. In the reaction video, I talked about Lowry recovering. I still give him credit for recovering, but I think there's just a little bit of a difference between his ability to put his foot in the ground and go, basically stop now and turn and go, versus end up being a little bit more rounded. Still great pursuit, still great effort. He gets involved in the tackle along with Simpson. Both of those guys are heavily involved in Saturday's game. I just think you can see a little bit of the difference in agility level between Martin and Lowry on that play. These last 3 plays are going to focus on the coverage skills of Keyon Martin, which of course is what a nickel defender is going to be judged by. He's spot shadowed in yellow once again. This is 3rd and 8. It's a vertical route that he's covering against McCaffrey. I do wonder or suspect that McCaffrey's possibly supposed to take this route back to the outside. This is, of course, the split sack between Buchanan and Simpson, who are on a double inside linebacker blitz right up the middle of the formation. Quarterback is looking to his side. So what we're talking about is this vertical being run by McCaffrey basically takes him right into Lowry. The quarterback's not going to throw that on 3rd and 8. I wonder if it's not supposed to be an out route, or if potentially the outside receiver is supposed to break to the outside. Additional to that, the quarterback looks like he's trying to come back to this underneath route that's being trailed by, I believe this is Tampa here because we're in man. As it stands, he doesn't have time to necessarily get there. Simpson and Buchanan finish things off on the inside. I think that Martin has the ability to run with people and stay in gear. What I mean is keep his hands on a receiver and stay in gear, not break his posture, because he's relying on his hands to run with the receiver. It seems pretty quick to me. I would say he compares favorably to Ardarius Washington in that manner in terms of just his full speed in 5th gear, and his ability to go from 3rd to 5th in an instant. Another coverage situation, this is man. He's actually not going to be targeted. 5th possession, man all the way across the board for the Ravens. So JAD man there, Martin manned here over the slot to the field, and then man on the tight end, I think it's Keyon. Tampa up top is in man as well. Now, not actually getting a target here of Martin, to be honest with you. This one's to the top side of the screen. As far as Martin goes on this play, he does actually kind of end up sliding off of the receiver, relying on his hands a little bit, right around the 15-yard line. Talking about right here, his posture kind of breaks for a moment. It's all stop routes. It's a really nice job, if you ask me, by TJ Tampa up top of using his feet. Yeah, it is a completed pass. But watch his feet. He gets his cleats in the ground here and then presses downhill to stay connected to the receiver. I would have thought that sometimes there'll be a little bit more rounding in Tampa's reactions. Doesn't seem to have as great a feet as some of the other corners that we've got in terms of his start-stop ability, or stop-start ability, I should say. It's all stop routes, in fact, there that Tampa ends up defending really well. Finally, the pick 6. Martin down here at the dedicated nickel. Lowry, the half-field safety, to the left. This is, I thought it was quarter-half at first, basically, whereby JAD was responsible for a quarter of the field, Lowry a quarter of the field, and then we had a half-field defender up here. But it could be really as a result of the routes they're run. So it's a snag concept to the top side, and that might be what holds Tampa down here in the flats and makes it kind of look like a quarter-half, if you will. Quarterback looking to the downside of the screen, downside of the field for us, from our perspective, and Martin is going to break immediately on the stop by number 1. Look, number 1 hasn't even looked for the ball, and Martin's already breaking. We're talking about right here. He's already breaking, number 1. Number 2, just notice his feet, man. He puts his foot in the ground, boom, gone. There's no rounding at all. He's got great breaks, whether you're talking about a 90 degree, a 45 degree, a 30, a 60, whatever degree break you want to practice, 180, 120, he's going to be all over it. He's a super talented guy out there in coverage. Very smooth, if you ask me. I think he should make the team. I'm welcome to other opinions that look at it differently and think that perhaps, you know, he's not lived up to some of the other dedicated nickels we've had in the past. I think both of those guys, Martin and Lowry, very, very versatile, agile, smart. They're both undersized. No guaranteed money at all for either one of them when they came here, which would be a great story, obviously, for both of them to make the 53-man roster, get a contract. I think they had brilliant play in the preseason. I don't know what the Ravens want. You know, do they want a dedicated nickel as their last DB? Lowry's an actual safety. Maybe they've got to pick one or the other. I would like to see both make the team. They give off that Armour-Davis vibe, like I said, in some ways, maybe even a little bit accelerated. If you have them on the field in the regular season, one of them or both, you need them surrounded by 9 or 10 other starters, right? You don't want them on the field with 4 or 5 other second stringers against other teams starting offensive line and offensive receivers. I think both of these guys have an opportunity to make the team. Just how I fit within the defensive structure, how I fit within this coverage, and what I'm able to do against a particular route concept. Basically what I'm saying is I think he's got advanced knowledge. I think he's very aware. When I compare him to Armour-Davis, that's what I mean, is that someone who can make plays because they understand the coverage that we're playing. Could Keyon Martin go back and play half-field safety right now the way Armour-Davis did last year? No, that's not what I'm saying. 2 or 3 years from now, possibly, yeah. He looks like a similar player. I would say I wonder if Martin is a little bit more agile. I have no idea about testing. I'm talking about on the football field, putting his foot in the ground, coming downhill, opening his hips, running with a receiver really quickly. Haven't really seen him get beat deep in those situations. I would say he compares favorably to other dedicated nickels that we've had in terms of his athletic ability. Am I saying he's better than Arthur Millette was for us in 2023? No, but feet, agility, reactions with his eyes and his feet being timed up, not having to round his breaks like I kind of showed you a little bit with Lowry on that blitz. He seems to be a little bit superior to Lowry and other dedicated nickels that we've had on this team in the past. Hopefully I explained all that in a way that makes sense. If you enjoyed the video, please let me know in the comment section. Number 1, I spent significant time Monday trying to get my audio correct, so hopefully it's fixed and sounds a little bit better than it did for a 3 or 4 day period. My apologies for that. I haven't been feeling well, so that's why most of these videos got out late, along with trying to get the audio situation fixed. I appreciate you guys' time, man. If you think other Ravens fans would enjoy this video as well, please consider grabbing a link to this one and sharing it out on social media to help this content get more reach.